أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you. I hope you are all fine and observing all the fasts, and I hope you are all busy in worship. My dear students, today we are going to start Hazrat Umar Farooq and his achievements. Or we can also say that the wars fought during the time period of Hazrat Umar Farooq as a caliph. And there are two main empires against which Hazrat Umar Farooq had to fight. And these were the two mighty empires at the time. In the west, it was Persian Empire, the mighty Persian Empire. And in the east, it was Roman Empire or Byzantine Empire. So on both sides, Muslim empire was sandwiched. Means Muslims were sandwiched between Persians and Byzantines, between two mighty empires. Though Muslims in the start had good relations with Persians as well as with Romans, but with the passage of time, with the change of circumstances, their relations also changed. We are going to start with Hazrat Umar Farooq, his wars with Persians in the West, or you can say the main events or the main conquests of the Caliphate of Hazrat Umar Farooq. It is necessary for us to know the causes or the reasons of wars, that why Muslims had to fight against the Persians with which Muslims had good relations. But what happened? What were the circumstances which caused Muslims to fight against the Persians? There are several causes or reasons of these wars against the Persians, but here we talk about some prominent causes. The first important cause was the insult of Muslim envoy by Persian King Khusro Pervez. Envoy, so you should be knowing that what is envoy? A group of Muslims sent by the leader of Muslims or caliph of Muslims to other countries, to other state with the message of Islam. So when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, sent an envoy to the court of Persia, the king Khusro Pervez insulted this envoy. So this envoy was sent with the message of Islam. As you know, we studied in Madani life, Prophet, peace be upon him, sent letters of invitation to Islam to various kings and various emperors. So Khusro was one of those kings to whom Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, sent message of Islam. But Khusro Pervez insulted the envoy, and thus this was very you can say negative act on the part of Khusro Pervez, and the Muslims and Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, did not like his act, that he insulted Muslim envoy. The rivalry of the Persians was further aggravated when they rebelled in Bahrain, the rebellion of Bahrain, when they helped the enemy of the Muslims. Thus, the Persians proved dangerous day by day to the state of the Muslims, and Muslims had to remain very cautious about their intentions. Now, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, knew this thing, that these Persians were getting dangerous, and after Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, these Persians, after the death of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, in the reign of caliphs, these Persians raised their heads against Muslim empire through different ways. Then Another important cause of these wars was the strategic location of Iraq. Geographically, Iraq, a province of the then Persian Empire. So, the Iraq was the part of Persian Empire at the time, and it formed a natural part of Arabia. Hence, it was essential to the Arabs. So, strategically, Iraq was very important piece of land for Arabia. Also, the Arab tribes who lived on the border of Iraq helped their relatives in Arabia to rise against Islam. So, for the safety and defense of Islam, Muslims were compelled to fight against the border tribes. So this was the same situation. I explained it in this way. This was the same situation. This, you can say, border crisis. This was like border crisis between Pakistan and Afghanistan. You know, Turkhan is the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. On both sides of the border, the relatives are living. Means on the Afghanistan side, people are living, they have their relatives in Pakistan. So they cross the border and they come to Pakistan, mostly secretly by hiding themselves and sometimes getting permission, and they come and they meet. So this was the same situation with Iraq. On the side of Iraq, the relatives of Arab tribes, they were instigating or they were misguiding their relatives who were living in Muslim state so that they can take arms against Muslims. It was necessary that the Caliph should take some strong steps against these border tribes. Muslim trade was very important with Iraq because Iraq was a land of immense wealth due to very fertile land because of the flow of Euphrates and Tigris, the two important rivers. They, they were passing through Iraq. So Iraq was an irrigated land. On the other side, Arabia was a barren land, and Arabia depended on the province of Iraq for her trade. But Persians did not like this thing. Persians never wanted that Iraq extends its trade relations with Muslims. So they caused hurdles. So the economic necessity forced the Muslims to come into conflict with the Persians because Iraq had an important role in the economy of Arabs. But on the other side, Persians were not allowing the Iraqis to have business relations, economic ties with Arabia. So collectively, because of all these reasons, the time had come that Muslims and Caliph should take some strong steps against these Persian states. So we see different wars being fought between Muslims and Persians. The first battle is Battle of Namarik. My dear students, when you will be preparing for these battles, because there are certain battles, there are many battles in the east and in the west during the caliphate of Hazrat Umar Farooq. Important thing to remember is the important points which you need to include in these battles are: number one, you need to know who was the commander from Muslim side. Number two, who was the commander from Persian side? Number three, what was the place of fighting? And number four, the result. So these are the four main elements which you need to put in these battles. So Battle of Namarik, Persians had lost Hira, a famous city. Hira was a very famous and important city of Persians, and they lost it during the caliphate of Hazrat Abu Bakr. So they were very furious over this loss. They wanted to regain Hira. Persian king sent Rustam, a famous warrior, against the Muslims with the intention to crush the Muslims. So who was Persian commander? Rustam. At the time, Khalid bin Walid had left for Syria, leaving Muzana alone on the Persian border. So the Muslim commander was Hazrat Muzana. So Hazrat Umar Farooq enforced Hazrat Muzana's army with a battalion under Abu Ubaidah. So you can say the main commander, the first commander of the Muslim army was Muzana, Hazrat Muzana, and the second commander of Muslim army was Hazrat Abu Ubaidah. After a furious battle, the Persians were defeated. So the army of Muslims under the command of Muzana and Abu Ubaidah, they defeated Persians. So this was an important victory, and Namarik was captured. Then comes Battle of Jaisalmer, very important battle against the Persians. This battle is also called Battle of Bridge. And this battle, basically, Muslims were defeated in this battle. Muslims had to face the consequences of denying the orders of their leaders. How? We will see this. Battle of Jaisalmer or Battle of Bridge. When the Persians were defeated at Namarik, they sent another army under Bahman. So Bahman was Persian commander in Battle of Jaisalmer. Both the armies encamped on the banks of Euphrates, the river Euphrates. So on one side of Euphrates, it was Muslim army, and on other side of Euphrates, it was Persian army. And between both these armies, it was passing Euphrates river. The Muslim commander decided to fight across the river against the will of the leaders. This is important to note, my dear students. The Muslim commander decided to cross the bridge. He decided to go on the other side of Euphrates in order to fight with Persians. And he decided to do this against the will of the leaders. When the Muslim army crossed the river across a boat bridge, so Muslim army made bridge of boats, and the whole Muslim army crossed the river Euphrates with the help of this bridge of boats and reached on the other bank of Euphrates. So when they reached on the other bank of Euphrates, they discovered that the new conditions did not suit them. The situation was against them. The ground was uneven, and the Persian army was walled by elephants, war elephants. So a war strategy. Persians, as a war strategy, they placed elephants as a wall, means they made the elephants stand like a wall so that this wall of elephants would block Muslim army. And this was really unconventional, and this was something new for the Muslims. Arab horses had never seen elephants, so they got terrified, and the Muslim cavalry got disorganized. The Muslim soldiers dismounted and fought on the foot. The Persian elephants had howdahs, and which soldiers were sitting. Howdahs, you must have seen an elephant, a kind of seat on the back of elephant. Like in case of horses, we have saddles, but on the back of elephants, there are howdahs, means kind of seats. And soldiers were sitting in these howdahs. The Muslims cut off the ropes of the howdahs and killed the soldiers by throwing them down. It so happened that a white elephant trampled and killed Abu Ubaidah. His brother picked up the command and led the Muslim army. He himself fell in the course of fighting, and the command was taken over by the son of Abu Ubaidah. So the first commander of Muslim army was Abu Ubaidah. After his martyrdom, his brother took the charge of Muslim army. When he was also killed, the third commander of Muslim army was the son of Abu Ubaidah. When the commanders got martyred one after the other, the Muslim army lost heart and ran towards the bridge in order to save their lives. The Persians had broken the bridge. The bridge of boats was no more there to rescue the Muslims, and it was reassembled at the spot on the orders of the then commander Muzana, and he himself, with a small force, held back the army. So, Muslim army, in quick time, re-established the bridge of boats, and the remaining Muslim army crossed that bridge of boats. And at that time, the Muslim commander Muzana blocked the Persian army. So the army crossed the river, and Muzana was the last to cross the bridge. The loss of the Muslim army was about 6,000. 2,000 got martyred, 2,000 got drowned while crossing the river, and about 2,000 ran away to Medina and other areas of Arabia. This battle is also known as the Battle of Bridge, and apparently it was a defeat for the Muslims because Muslims suffered heavy losses. Out of total strength of 9,000, only 3,000 could be saved. The reason of this defeat was the Muslim commanders disobeyed their leaders. You can compare this battle and the result of this battle with Battle of Uhud. If you remember, in Battle of Uhud, those 50 archers, when they saw that Muslims are winning the battle and the Quraysh army has dispersed, out of 50 archers, around 35 archers left their post and they came down. They came down to collect spoils of war. So they did this thing against the advice, against the command of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And the result is in front of us. In Battle of Uhud, Muslims had to suffer huge casualties, and means on the basis of reality, if we see, so Muslims did not win this Battle of Uhud. Same happened at the time of Battle of Jaisar. Muslims crossed that bridge. They went on the other side of Euphrates against the wish and against the command of their leader, and resultantly they had to face huge loss. My dear students, these were the two important battles, Battle of Namarik and Battle of Jaisar. And we have also discussed the causes of these battles against the Persians. So this is all about for today's lecture. In next lecture, we will discuss the other battles against the Persians. Till then, Allah Hafiz.